Greetings, Twilight Struggle fans, and welcome to our Game of the Week here on Action Round Zero. I'm Justin Abramson. We'll get to Peter Frantz momentarily, and we're back with Game 2 of the Champions League Round of 16 series between Jarib Flores and Ryan Pindulic. Everyone watching is no doubt familiar with these two elite players, so we'll skip that part and jump right into the context of this game. As we talked about last week, this is a best of two series, and last week we saw Jarib beat Ryan by 7 VPs in final scoring. That means that in order to advance in the series, Ryan must either win this game before final scoring, or if the game does go to final, he's got to win it by at least 8 VPs. If he wins it by exactly 7, we will go to the amount of time spent by both players in the game. We hope we don't have to go to that level of tiebreaker. But Ryan's a little behind the 8 ball here, and he certainly has a path to come back. Complicating matters, though, is that Jarib gets his preferred side, the USA, in Game 2. So wherever you are in the world, whatever time it is for you, come on along for the ride as these two titans of Twilight Struggle go head-to-head here on Action Round Zero, Twilight Struggle's biggest stage. Now let us get to Peter. Peter, you know the drill by now. What do you think of this turn 1 hand for Jarib?
Well, it's good and bad. Good in that he has all of the access that Ryan needs. Bad that he doesn't have a lot of free ops. Red Scare Purge is the big one, but after that, you're kind of drawn slim.
This is an unbelievably strong USSR hand. As a
sure.
USA hand, though, it's quite tricky. You don't, as you just said, you don't want to headline Purge here because then you're out of ops. You could dump Asia, but you still are at risk for a Vietnam headline. Other than those, you don't really have a headline choice. You don't want to headline Romanian because we don't have any Europe attack cards in our hand. This is tricky. What would you do here, Peter? What would you headline?
I think Asia. We're not fighting. I don't think we're going to be able to fight Asia if he headlines Romanian. Oh, but he goes with Red Scare Purge. That surprises me.
Yeah, I don't. If we see Vietnam, okay, there it is, Sock Govs. So if we had seen Vietnam, you're absolutely right, Peter. We have, as I like to say, no fours, no wars to fight against the Asia Dom. We just have a bunch of 2-ops. So if we had seen Vietnam, I suppose there really just wasn't much we could do. So now what do you do if you got Sock Govs with Ryan? You're purged.
Yeah. Well, luckily he doesn't know how bad our hand is. I would probably try to put if I had a 4, I'd probably put it all into Italy here, but I don't know if he'll want to spend all his ops that way.
All right, hypothetical situation for you. Ryan has Europe scoring and no 4s. Would you just go 1 Italy, 1 France, 1 UK and score Europe?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
For 5?
If he has it, I would do that. Yeah.
We'll see what Ryan goes with. But yeah, tricky situation for Ryan. Obviously, 3-3-2, you risk the Sock Govs headline. Ryan's going to make him pay for it, but Ryan is now purged. But you know what? Ryan's purged, but I bet he still has more ops than Jarib.
Probably, yes. Certainly more playable ops.
So Jarib obviously has to give Fidel. He'll play special. So Jarib has 7 ops to play here. Okay, that's not what's happening. Oh, he's just going to give US Japan right away. Oh, boy.
Now we could get Asia Dom. That's interesting.
Yeah. I think that's 100% the play here is you take Pakistan, right? Would you take Pakistan or South Korea?
With USJ out there, I might do South Korea because Pakistan is much more coolable, but it's still gonna be tough being purged.
Yeah, both of them obviously warrable. One third of a chance to flip. Pakistan more coolable, but I don't know if Ryan's going to want to coup Pakistan at DEFCON 5.
Yeah, well, so much for my idea about headlining Asia. Getting Dom out of it with these ops, especially. Okay. Oh my goodness, and he did.
Hey, this is why Jarib's one of the great ones. That's an unconventional play. I feel like I don't know, Peter. I don't know about you, but I feel like weaker players will just see Purge in their hand and they'll just automatically headline it because Purge is a really good headline. Whereas better players will say, hey, you know what? I've got maybe a better headline than Purge, or maybe I don't, but I really need Purge's 4 ops. And so that's why I was a little bit surprised. But Jarib knew that he was going to be able to fight Asia, and so good for him. Sorry, that's a lot of talking for me, and stuff happened. What happened there, Peter?
A lot of things. Filling up Middle East, getting it off, not for domination, but 2 points for Jarib there. So Ryan didn't have a great hand either. DEFCON is also still at 5, and obviously Jarib doesn't have the card to coup Italy. He doesn't have anything really, but might want to lower DEFCON here just to be sure. He could also realign him out.
Yeah, these players both need their mill ops. Here we go. DEFCON's at 5. Another player has mill ops. Okay, and here's a 1-op coup of Pakistan. That misses. So Ryan unable to even think about holding defectors. Yeah, this is one of those frustrating USSR hands where you get the cards to attack Europe, but it's Middle East and Asia that score.
Right, yeah.
You know, I hate, love to draw Vietnam and decall and then Middle East and Europe scoring. Always frustrating. So Ryan now with 1 mill op, Jarib with none and a 1-op in his hand. Okay, well, now he's going to have a 2-op.
And he gives Dom with this coup though.
Yep. Yeah, I think Harib's got a coup. Oh, another 6. Okay, well, and let's keep in mind. Sorry, go ahead. Okay, well, I was just going to say Suez would give Ryan a presenceless Dom in Europe, but that card is safely in Harib's hand now. Yeah. Sorry, I apologize, Peter. I keep cutting you off. What were you going to say?
No, I wasn't going to say anything. I was just curious what Ryan said. I missed it, or yeah, what Jarib said or Ryan said in the chat. I missed it.
Yeah, he wasn't. He didn't say it. Jarib just said I was praying to get Suez, so he was thinking the same thing I was. Yeah, De Gaulle would be bad, but Suez would be worse. Ryan and Jarib gets both, so Jarib probably going to be able to keep France here. Not a great hand by any means. And what's your headline? Is it EEU to stop Dom? Oh,
yes, it is, and it works. Everything going Jarib's way here. This is incredible.
Oh my goodness! Wow. Okay. So yeah, Jarib is really reading the room well here. Again, another reason why he's one of the greatest to play the game. So we have not seen Blockade. The other 2 Europe attack cards safely in Harib's hand. DEFCON is at 5.
We're also holding Truman in case Ryan decides to jam West Germany here.
Yeah.
So it's a good deterrent.
Yep, Jarib will want to hold on to that as long as possible. Both players at space 1, so we could see a double space from somebody. Okay, there's Bert the Turtle and a coup in Iran that does not work. Now we know we have Vietnam and we have D-stall and we just spaced decall last turn. So Jarib could just go ahead and coup here and he doesn't have to worry about getting...
It's just Iraq.
Yeah. Iraq's the only play. Rolls a 4. Okay, so Harib's going to lose Lebanon and potentially Iran here, but he's not going to lose Thailand. He doesn't have to worry about anything happening in the mid-war regions because he's gotten all the access cards.
Very fortunate. But also well played, as we said. I definitely would have dropped Asia that turn 1, and he made 6 points. 6 more points than my play would have.
Yep. Yeah, he certainly did. Yeah, Ryan giving away U.S.-Japan on AR1. I don't know if I want to call it a mistake. You definitely want to lock up Italy. It's important. But that was an unfortunate sequence for Ryan, and then Jarib comes back and stops Europe Dom on turn 2 with the EEU headline.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Okay, he is able to. Oh, he doesn't take Lebanon.
I would like to see Lebanon there, I think, but maybe Ryan worried about the war, worried about Jarib triggering Korean War and then taking South Korea. if we're going to play IP war, I think you have to put one in Pakistan, don't you?
You would think. Maybe he's okay with getting the China card.
So this is interesting. Playing IP war, I would be fine doing that if we were holding on to the war, but with IP war, this makes all kinds of sense for Ryan to flip Pakistan right now. Yeah, it's exactly what he's going to do.
Yep.
I'm not sure I understand that from Jarib, but again, Harib's been playing 5D chess this entire game, so no reason
More
for it to
focused
stop
on
now.
Europe at this point.
Yeah,
Seems like. I mean, seems like he might be okay with kind of keeping Asia even. Well, he might even get the Dom there if he gets both India and South Korea out of it.
yeah. And Jarib leaving West Germany at 2 because he has Truman, kind of daring Ryan to go in, and Ryan, way too good a player to take that bait.
Yeah. Ryan should take Romania back, get that Dom back on the table.
Okay, Ryan
Spacing, like you said, is important.
Yeah, very important. So you space De Gaulle here? Yeah, you do. So yeah, that you know I like getting De Gaulle out of the deck, but this is an awkward situation for De Gaulle because you don't have the ops to take Algeria, and obviously you want to stop the double. You obviously want to stop the double.
And hold D-stall for blockade, though blockade's not so bad when we only have two ops in there.
Yeah. In fact, it could very well be if Ryan triggers blockade here, I think you let West Germany go. You put one of Vietnam back into West Germany, the other in Thailand, right?
Yeah, probably. I would think. I don't think I would activate blockade here if I were Ryan.
Yeah, I very seriously doubt Ryan would trigger it. Ryan, for his part, wants to lock up South Korea, and he wants to get another one in Pakistan. Maybe wants to get one in India. Okay, well, the 4-op.
Got a 4-op. There you go.
Ooh, Iraq, and he does not. Okay. Doesn't overprotect Pakistan, but instead he takes Middle East Dom, even with Nasser coming.
Yeah. He draws it, too.
Okay. So Ryan gets
Pakistan
Nasser
right back.
Yep. Ryan gets Nasser. Jarib redraws Middle East. This is not a particularly good hand for Jarib. But he does redraw Truman. Potentially interesting. And Ryan with blockade and Nasser. What else does Ryan have, Peter? Do you remember offhand?
Have we seen Marshall?
We've not seen Marshall. Marshall's a critical card here. That's a great point. Marshall, maybe the most important card here other than D-stall or D-call. Because getting into those Mediterranean countries is Harib's best path to stop Dom.
Middle East scoring. That makes some sense.
Best headline we know
I would have considered...
Sorry, what were you going to say?
I was going to say I might have considered Olympic Games here, but Middle East isn't bad.
Yeah, this is Middle East is 3. It's only going to get worse, presumably, because Ryan has Nasser. Nasser makes perfect sense as a headline unless Ryan has drawn Decall or Purge or something scary. Suez is gone. But again, Suez is gone, stock Gov's in our hand. But once again, De Gaulle makes Jarib presenceless in Europe and gives Ryan a presenceless Dom. I think if Ryan had De Gaulle, we would have seen it. Oh, and there's an Asia headline. Okay, that makes a Pakistan flip for Jarib considerably less profitable.
Mm-hmm.
And so Ryan scores a +1 out of Asia. So yeah, boy, I don't like the decision from Jarib not to overprotect Pakistan when he used the war.
Yeah, lost a Dom because of it.
Yep.
Gets a good coup. Ryan gets a good coup in Panama there.
Okay, and unless we see decall here, this I think is going to be one of those very boring turn 3s where the players just kind of take what they have access to. Space, very important. So if Ryan has decall, he'll obviously trigger it right here. If he doesn't have decall, I would expect he'd space here. Okay.
Going to force Harib to take, maybe not take Libya. I thought he would, but
I would just take Libya here. I would absolutely take Libya here.
so would I.
Scored regions matter.
Maybe he still will. Yeah.
Scored regions still matter. Okay, Reeves going to do neither, and he's going to take the space shot, and he will hit. So this seems like a situation where Ryan now is going to take Libya. Harib's got a lot better places to put his ops than Ryan. So I would have taken Libya there, even with Middle East scored. But
Would you make the march into Saharan states since you don't have mill-ops? Get to Nigeria.
So there, Marshall goes to space and Ryan misses on the roll. So what do we need to do? We need to take Mexico. We have 3 ops, so maybe Mexico goes to, or excuse me, maybe Comic-Con goes to Mexico, 1 Saharan, and we could potentially take back West Germany. We need to take back West Germany as well. So
yeah, I might have done that before Truman, because Ryan can pour some ops into West Germany if he has ops.
Yeah.
He does have De Gaulle redraw. There it goes. Yeah, I would have put Comic-Con in there and taken it.
Yeah, definitely like the idea of taking West Germany before, because now Jarib has to fight for this, right? You can't allow France to be your only remaining battleground with De Gaulle looming, right? Yeah.
At least De Gaulle's in the discard pile, but yes, I agree. I would definitely lock that up if we can.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I guess. Oh, sorry. I don't know why I said that. He literally just played De Gaulle for ops. But yeah, so again, Jarib, one of the best to ever do it. I hesitate to critique him, but if Jarib just takes Libya and fills up West Germany, if Jarib takes Libya when Ryan plays Nasser, if Jarib fills up West Germany before playing Truman, Ryan just doesn't have much in the way of good places to put his ops. What's he going to do? Take India and Saudi? Those aren't particularly important countries at this moment. But instead, Ryan has been able to take some, or at least fight for some important countries here.
Yeah, I agree. And also playing Truman a little earlier in the turn when you had some other ops to do stuff with. It's like Ryan was waiting for that opportunity to jump into West Germany.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Well, this is a hand.
Okay, so no power cards, but 2 excellent U.S. events to go along with a couple of big 4 ops. So this to me is a clear and obvious grain headline.
Yep.
But I understand Jarib wanting
Panama,
to wait that split second.
Sure.
So I suspect this will just be a Panama coup. But if we see something different, perhaps it could be ops in West Germany and maybe a move to Cameroon for Africa Dom. We'll see.
CIA is still around. I think he might prioritize getting Ryan's hand, attacking his hand in case it's in there. So
yep.
Could be a 1-op coup or something like that. Not that there are any 1-stabs to coup. It's just Panama or maybe Libya, but I think Panama's better.
Yes. Oh, for sure. Panama's better. CRGs is a nice event. Gets us into Nigeria, presuming we don't see decall here. Could also be used just to fill up Southeast Asia freely. Quagmire will take a trip to space. AI
Maybe
War.
Give us peak at the same time.
Yeah. AI War, a mild annoyance. Okay, well, that's just the headline Ryan needed.
Yeah, definitely coup. Thought a half second about eventing that, but no, I think coup is better.
Yeah. Yeah, yes, Harib. See, there's the kind of groundbreaking analysis we see from one of the best players in the world. Yes, grabbing Purge with grain sales is never bad. Okay, so where are you going with this decall if you're Ryan? Obviously, Nigeria You're going to what? Nigeria, Zaire, Indonesia, and you're going to flip Zaire over. Would you go South Africa?
You could possibly do Algeria, depending on how many ops you have. Him having Purge and not headlining it, like, I'm wondering if he has another 4-op to protect against Missile Envy, or he has Missile Envy. Because I wouldn't want to get Missile Envy purged. That would have been crazy.
Yeah, but
maybe just trying to figure out what he might have here.
Yep. But Decall is the exact card to help you get back in the game in Africa. Decall or obviously Junta would have been great too, but those would have been the two best.
Yeah, I would probably, if he does have a 4-op, take Algeria, Zaire, and of course Nigeria and Indonesia.
Okay, so you're saying if you had a 4, you go Algeria, Nigeria, Zaire, Indonesia, and then you'd use the 4 to flip over Algeria and Zaire.
Almost exactly what he did, except not taking Indonesia. That's pretty much what I would do right there.
Okay. Yeah, this makes sense. I think you've got to protect Angola. Yeah, this is
yes,
very annoying.
Essentially a 7-op CRGs breaking 3 battlegrounds.
And now, if Ryan doesn't have yet another 4, he's going to protect all 3 of these, but then Jarib will flip 1.
For sure.
I mean, even if he does have another 4, rather. Yeah, so there's that, because you can't overprotect both. So yeah, this will be an easy flip of Zaire. Ryan now has to overprotect Nigeria. Maybe he'll want to get into South Africa as well, which all of a sudden is an extremely important country. 1-op is not probably what he was looking for. I think South Africa's got to be taken immediately, right?
I would think so, yeah. Probably not this turn, but I depending on how things go here, like if Ryan gets the coup turn 5, nuke subs could be an interesting hold to try to get a few more battlegrounds back in Africa if Ryan takes one.
Yep. Interesting, Ryan had Southeast Asia in his hand, decided not to decall into Indonesia.
Yeah, that's puzzling. Interesting choice. Maybe he also has Africa?
Yeah. I would have dumped Africa right there if I had it.
Yeah. I would have dropped it before Jarib gets dumb, but just trying to make sense of his moves.
Yep. Ryan needs Mill-Ops. Jarib needs to retake West Germany.
He's working on that, slowly but surely.
Yeah, going to just use a 2-op. He could have used a 4 there to just retake West Germany and put 1 into Portugal. Jarib must be worried about something. Okay, there's a space shot, and that misses. Got to think Jarib
Ryan's going to be able to get Mill-Ops.
Yeah, Ryan will not get his Mill-Ops.
Harib's definitely not going to give him Arab-Israeli war for free.
Nope. So you got a Space Quagmire, hold AI war, and then CMCO. That's annoying, but not a disaster. It's just got to be a 3-op fix. Yep. Jarib had designs at least temporarily stopping Europe Dom, but he is not going to do that because both of these cards have to be spaced. Unless Ryan has CIA. No, he does not.
Interesting. That is NORAD. Man, I'd want to fill Canada, but not with either of these cards.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, what another hand. Except he's got Lone Gunman. That's the downside here.
Quagmire, We Will Bury You, and Lone Gunman all together is not great. But wow, huge ops. The other great thing is you have China, and so you're going to play China, you're going to play cultural, so you can hold 2. So you can space, We Will Bury You, hold Quagmire and Gunman if you want to. You also have the option, if you want, of headlining ABM and playing Gunman and getting rid of Gunman if you don't coup with it. Oh, my goodness. Ryan with a dearth of headline options. Yeah, this may be a situation of ABM to place. Yeah, I like this.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
And take the Africa Dom. I like this.
That's just bad all around. But this should be able to let us drop gunmen.
Yep. So now we can dump gunmen, or we will bury you if we decide we want to wait for a better opportunity to dump gunmen.
Yeah, I would, if I were Harib, I would make sure I can get this Africa Dom here. So if Ryan coups and he hits it, I might coup back, and then, like you said, play China, give cultural. Take
I
it
would.
back,
I might
Missouri.
not coup back. What I would do is the old 5-op. We will bury you, right? Yeah.
Oh, that's true with NORAD. That's true. Oh, and it doesn't matter because he rolls a 1.
He
so.
rolled a 1. So yeah, we will bury you. Jamming Algeria can flip it.
Setting up all sorts of realigns here.
Yeah, that's fine too.
That was a brutal coup for Ryan there, but
yeah, that was a horrific one.
Forgot DEFCON was 4 also. He didn't coup with ABM.
Yep, so now DEFCON down to 2. Harib gets his NORAD up, and yeah, immediate Africa dump because it was only going to get worse. Harib now sneaks into South America. Ryan gets his 3 VPs, but he's going to need a lot more than that to get back in this one.
Yeah.
D-Stall is in the discard pile. He just headlined Defectors, so certainly if Ryan had any kind of a decent headline, like a card that starts with a J and ends with an Unta, we would have seen it already. Yeah, 1. Yeah, that's not going to do it. Harib's going to spread out using Flower Power. Or China, yeah. You might as well use China.
Mm-hmm. And give cultural.
Yep.
Starting to look a little rough here for Ryan.
Ryan is really battling the current here. So Harib, I assume, will take South America control right here.
Yep.
And if Ryan has brush, we'll see it now. But Ryan is not playing like a player who has brush. I think if I had brush, I would have just triggered it right after OAS on Brazil, even with just 1 in there. What
probably.
Would you have? And then you.
I think so, because you cut him off access. I mean, to unmodified brush. So I'm also surprised Ryan hasn't taken Turkey yet. You think that's one of his potentially good scoring regions, and 1 more non-battleground gives him Dom.
Yep. And that's annoying for Ryan.
It doesn't have the card. Yeah, it doesn't have the cards, it seems like.
Yeah. Ryan's hand is terrible here.
And there goes his decent scoring region.
Ooh.
Okay, it's a good card to see for us.
Now, 3 scorings out there, so you can't discard more than 1. Panama's not a bad hit, so this will take Poland back. Yeah, rejam it.
Yep. Happy to keep hammering that home up there. Now Ryan's going to have to give up the coup, possibly, to fix it.
Okay, finally a garbage hand for Harib. Yeah, very nice play. Okay, this hand sucks. But still Missile Envy. So we've seen Flower Power. We've seen all 3 red 4s. We've seen ABM and Purge. So Missile Envy is not going to get you anything great. OPEC is a bit of a problem.
That's our own. Well, no, I guess we could space Quagmire.
Yeah, can't.
I kind of like holding Quagmire through, right? But yeah.
We're not going to self Quag with NORAD in effect and a very, very friendly, very NORAD friendly board.
That's a bit annoying.
Yeah. So this certainly is going into South America. So is it how I learned to just lower DEFCON to 2 so Ryan doesn't get a coup on top of this. Nope, just going to go missile envy. Right, this has to be, what, Argentina, Venezuela? Okay, he gets just enough on the roll. What are we even hoping for here, though?
Yeah, Jarib knows better than we do, of course. I would have gone with your plan of how I learned, just so he couldn't even up South America so easily. But Jarib might know something about Ryan's hand here.
If we get okay, well, there you go. So a great play from Jarib steals the coup. Yeah, that's just a nice easy coup of Venezuela, right? No reason to do anything else. Or, well, okay,
No,
you could do that.
Yeah.
So Jarib thinking about attacking.
Knowing that his opponent has just missile envy to play.
That's true. Now, the reason I don't like this is Warsaw is around.
Around, or in the discard?
I think it's in the discard. So now you're going to give Ryan, because Ryan's not going to fight that. So you're going to get, Ryan's going to take a 2-up coup of Brazil. 50-50 shot, and of course he misses.
And NORAD gives us Europe Dom. And now we can break. Wow, yeah, this is rough. But yeah, Warsaw would make a huge difference here if it comes back. But Europe should get scored before it does.
Yes, you're right. Europe should get scored before it does. Ryan now is just going to try and hold on to one battleground in South America. That's going to be probably 5 for Jarib. Yeah, not great. Set up the realigns, take Dom. You know what would be a great card for Ryan to have now? Che.
You mean the card that we stole?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jarib obviously has been tracking cards. He knew what Ryan had, and maybe just figured that there were that he wasn't going to get any good 4s. Maybe there were. Matter of fact, there may have been no 4s available at all. But that the 3s were available were either going to be good for him or they were going to be red, in which case, and he really hit a big one. Yeah, this has to be a Colombian coup. And would you just take the realigns, or would you reestablish South America Dom?
Yeah, I probably would have gone with the Dom, but going for control in Central America also. I mean, we don't really have, again, the ops. We're going to have to give probably libs here because we don't want to give Quagmire. We really don't want to give OPEC. One of those is getting spaced.
Yes. Okay, another bad one for Ryan. So yeah, Allende is annoying, but you're going to have to give it. OPEC is now 4, so I don't think you can give 4 VPs. He'll space it. And now we definitely can't. We will definitely be giving libs.
Can't give it.
Because we've got a whole Quagmire. So yeah, we're gonna have to prep and give libs. All right, he's gonna. Yeah, there we go. Somebody said something about Warsaw. I don't remember who it was, but somebody said something about Warsaw being back. Peter, you there? Oh, we lost Peter for a second. I don't know what happened, but I was just busy crowing about Warsaw. So Ryan takes Warsaw via Salt. Oh, Peter said his internet cut out. Oh, Hassan realigns, and he'll hit the Hassan realigns. Okay, and Ryan will trigger Warsaw here, no question, I have to think. Unless he has something better to do, he's just going to hold Warsaw. There it is. Okay, and Jarib was not able to prep libs, so he takes Mexico back, puts 1 in Panama. Central scoring to come. Oh my goodness. Ryan gets Central, Ryan gets Europe. Jarib gets Junta and redraws Purge with Bear Trap. Wow, another great hand for Jarib. Willy Brandt does give Dom in Europe, so that's not nothing. So if Jarib headlines Junta and Kuz, Ryan will simply score Europe for domination. Ryan at this point got to be throwing his computer through the wall. Junta also doesn't give Jarib a NORAD point. So there's the purge. Now, if Ryan coups, then Jarib can just repair West Germany with NORAD. But Ryan's got Europe scoring. I think you score here, right? Do you score? Unless I'm missing some. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, okay. So that's 6 points for Ryan, 6 much needed VPs. And now we'll see a coup of Venezuela and then just a repair of Panama with NORAD. And now Ryan should dump Central here. This should be a Central dump before Jarib takes Dom. That's going to be 0. Yeah, okay. So Ryan gets out of Europe for Dom, and he gets out of Central for 0. But Ryan is purged, and Jarib hits the space roll. Big 3 VPs for Jarib. And there's South America. So 3 scorings. Sorry, folks, we did know about South America scoring as well. So all 3 scorings in Ryan's hand. Whereas Jarib redraws Purge and picks up Junta. Okay. Yeah. So with all 3 scorings gone, this might be realign time. Or it could be bear trap time. But realigns in Africa. Okay, that is, I don't want to say GG. It certainly isn't GG. But that is huge. To dump D-stall, SOC govs, and of course, most importantly, gunmen. A little surprised to see Africa dumped there. Jarib is ahead in Africa and in position to get even further ahead. This will be a coup of Saharan, presumably. Yep, it will. I believe Ryan has Camp David in his hand, so we may see a hold of AI war until that happens. And there it is. Okay, Kitchen was active there briefly. Now it is inactive. I might use AI War. Oh no, you need to get the 2 VPs of MilOps. I was going to say I might use AI War to take Israel and reactivate it. But you need to get your MilOps. IP War, just trying to get VPs. Yep, there it is. That will reactivate Kitchen. And Jarib could have bear trapped Ryan, but I suspect he knows what's in Ryan's hand. And Ryan knew about bear trap. Oh, that was a redraw. And that deactivates Kitchen once again. So Jarib going to try and get the poke off in the late war. And here's Asia. Okay, war games. Is there a path here to 6? Is there a path here? And there is. I think if Jarib can get India, he can get Dom off with shuttle, and then Asia would get him over the war games threshold. Other than that, though, this hand is a lot of garbage. Of course, war games and ABM are nice, but Got a bunch of one-offs. Blockade, you probably you might have to discard a blue card to blockade. No, no, no. If you're gonna do ABM, just coup Pakistan. Don't allow you don't want to allow a coup of Thailand. This is fine. Yeah, that's good enough. Yep. And Harib once again looks very smart. Oh, and there's of course the trap. You take a look. Yeah, this is just yeah, Aldrich, not what you wanted to see. So Aldrich will stop war games. Aldrich will stop war games if Ryan can get out of the trap. So it looks like we lost Peter for the rest of this one. There's the coup. This will be Pakistan. Okay, Ryan must get out or he loses the game right away. He is out. Harib will score Asia. And we will see Aldrich here to take war games. Yep. Still, though, Gunman and We Will Bury You gone, and Harib not in Cuba. So very difficult to see any scenario where Ryan can win this one before final. No war games now. Salt is gone. So Ryan going to need to win this one by 8 in final. It just doesn't look like it's going to happen. Harib has 3 dominations on the board. He's up battlegrounds in Central as well. He's up 10 VPs on the board, about to be 12 with Kitchen. Harib had the opportunity to activate Kitchen. I don't think it's active anymore. Oh, it is still. Okay. It is because he flipped Pakistan. Okay. So Harib does get his Kitchen in. I think you are just, I don't think you want to play China and hold blockade. I think you want to just stomach blockade right now and get rid of North Sea. Another libs triggered. So I think you take Panama. Yeah, okay, that's just fine. And here we are, AR6. I think Harib just discards and then holds China. 5-year plan to take Panama is going to discard Summit. Yeah. Ryan's got to win by 8. Yeah, Ryan's got to win by 8. He's well behind on time. Yep. So this is a tough one for Ryan. Couple of purges, really devastating, and more good stuff here. Grain, terrorism, plenty of ops. The unscored region is favorable to Harib, but is favorable to Ryan. But but Libya is an excellent coup target here with grain. West Germany and France are both overprotected. Reformer is a mere annoyance here. This will just turn off. This probably will go into non-battlegrounds. It definitely will go into non-battlegrounds. Star Wars? Too bad that cannot pull war games. Play 5-year plan. Yes, do that. Do this, Jarib. 5-year plan. 5-year plan, and then terrorism later. Yes. Oh my goodness. 5-year plan. Get him skipping 2 ARs. Oh, boo. That should have been 5-year plan. But okay, VOA is the more responsible play. Cleans Ryan out of Libya. This just has to repair Panama. Hurry presumably will take a coup here on Nigeria is fine. I was going to say Iran, but of course the hostage crisis is around. And there's Middle East. So Ryan does get his Dom off. Iron Lady trick would not have worked. Ryan with no access to Argentina. I suspect we'll see Jarib space de Gaulle at this point, try and get to discard, dump, decall. OPEC event's going to be 4 more. That's a as turn 9 marshals go, that's a pretty good one. You can trigger de Gaulle. He can trigger de Gaulle, but I'd space it so you maybe discard Marine Barracks or decall. Che event's going to go Africa and then Uruguay. Okay, a couple of flips. That would be significant in a game that was closer. Threatens realigns on Brazil and on Nigeria. And Jarib without, I suppose he can just use Chernobyl here if he wants. Going to realign Uruguay. Interesting. Yeah, realignment is interesting with Ryan with no path back in. Ryan is going to have to skip an AR here. Glasnost raises DEFCON, jams Brazil. Okay, yeah. Oh, okay. And this will just be Chernobyl taking Brazil back in 1 Libya, I assume. Oh. Okay, just going to casually roll a 2-op coup and hit a 5. He'll get his NORAD op. Ryan has to skip here, and then this can just take both countries there. Everything is scored. We head to turn 10. There was no drama left here, but this hand will be just fine. Not a great hand, not a terrible one. Decall can be UN. The hostage crisis is free. The war will be a couple of VPs, unless because I think we've seen Evil Empire. And that's going to do it. So congratulations to Jarib. He's going to advance to the next round of Champions League. Ryan, a good season. An Atlantic League champion, got into the Champions League group stage. Hey, Peter.
Hello again.
Glad Peter's internet came back. Peter, yeah, you missed kind of the game being decided here. Ryan, just as you left, Ryan pulled Warsaw with salt. Somebody was talking about Warsaw as a reason not to go for Poland. I don't know who it was, but Jarib had flipped Poland. Ryan used Warsaw to flip Poland back. Ryan then on turn 7 headlined Willie, which gave him Dom, scored it on AR1. So Ryan did get his Europe Dom, and he got out of Central for 0, but had to give Jarib big points in South America and in Asia. So not so great.
Yeah, not so great. It looks like Truman was invented in West Germany also.
Yep. Yep, that was a very good use of Truman. Jarib actually dumped Africa with our man. Didn't have to do that, but I think that might be part of the Champions League thing. Is that flipping over Africa and then getting it scored was one of Ryan's paths to win by at least 8 in final. Remember, Ryan has to win by 8 in order to advance. Hey, solidarity! There we go.
Okay, well, a very brief Central and Africa Doms and Middle East.
Yep.
Looks like those are going to disappear shortly.
Yep. And Ryan remarked to Jarib something that we have been talking about, and that has been a truly terrible, this has been a truly horrific NORAD for Ryan. Jarib has really made use of NORAD. And Ryan had no choice but to give it up. I believe he was purged and had other stuff he had to get rid of.
Yeah. I assume Quagmire was held through the reshuffle as well.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. No DEF CON outs here?
None whatsoever. Gunmen gone. Ortega not an issue. We will bury you gone as well. So these players just playing out the string. And this is
makes sense.
Yeah, Ryan will have a positive. I thought Ryan looked like he's just going to be +1 in Europe. Middle East looks like it's going to be even. Africa looks like it might just be +1 for Jarib. And there's Ortega. That'll take back Panama. But yeah, these two guys just playing out the string. The South America control will be the decider here.
Yeah, if that was even, there's definitely a chance here for Ryan, but 8 points for Jarib is not something easy to come back from.
Yep, and Jarib really with no problems here. He can UN decall, he can space Pershing. Pershing is a problem for him, but it's easily spaced. And then he can finish up with China if he wants to. Could even, yeah. In fact, you could just hold Pershing. UN decall, hold Pershing, play China. This should take
I think it's time to get crazy with some real lines. Yeah. Trying to get him out of Nigeria, maybe go crazy in South America,
Yep. This should take Israel. Okay, yeah, there you go. Jarib does need to take Israel.
Have we seen debt crisis?
Yep. Nope, haven't seen debt crisis, but again, not a problem for Jarib. He's gonna just hang on to Pershing for exactly that reason. Yep, there it is.
And there it is.
So we'll see Israel there.
Not quite as electric as the last one. I mean, from what I saw anyway.
No. The board actually very close here. Now Jarib will be able to get Asia Dom on AR7 with a poke of any of those 3 battlegrounds, or he can get Middle East Dom. But if South America were even, this obviously would be an incredibly tense game. But with Jarib able to get control back, there's not much. Yeah, but NORAD was a huge thing.
I remember actually. This is kind of ironic. I remember talking with Ryan at the convention about NORAD, and he was saying it's I thought it could be an underrated card. It can do a lot for you, and then there's some games where it does absolutely nothing for you. But the power behind NORAD could be game breaking, and it
Yep.
seems like it was for this game.
Yeah, no question about it. And I can especially attest to NORAD's strength as someone who grew up right near NORAD. I went to Cheyenne Mountain High School, and I don't know if you know this, but NORAD is built into Cheyenne Mountain. So yes, I have toured NORAD. It's really really cool place. So glad it made a difference for Harib in this game, even though I was rooting for Ryan as the Atlantic League champion. I like it when the Atlantic League folks make it far, and so but Harib, there's certainly no shame in losing to Harib.
This is going to make me the last remaining USA player. I don't know how I feel about that.
Wow. Ooh, Missile Envy for the event. That's not going to give him what he was hoping for.
No. Not at all.
And in fact, it saves Ryan. It saves Harib 2 VPs.
That's a flower power, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I lose 2 VPs is what happens. Oh, he gets him back.
It hits, though. It hits. There you go.
Yeah, Dom.
Okay.
Just casually take 2 Doms with 2 ops.
Yep. And he could take 2 more with 4 ops if Ryan doesn't do anything here.
Yep. So
take Asia and Middle East as well while we're at it.
Yep. A little poke of North Korea and a poke of Iraq. I think that will do it. 16. So Harib by 18 in final. And congratulations to Harib. He advances to the Elite 8 in Champions League. So this one, interesting. Some interesting decisions there. Some decisions we disagreed with. Most of the decisions on Harib's part that we disagreed with went really, really well for Harib, and we looked dumb. But Peter, any last thoughts on this one before we wrap up?
I always look dumb when I'm commentating on games with players in the top 10, 20, 30, whatever. But no, just well played by Jarib and way to show us up.
Yep, he certainly did that. All right, folks. Well, that's going to do it for our coverage of Twilight Struggle today. Thank you to Peter for joining. Thank you to our executive producer, Anton Scott. Thanks to the players for sending us this video. Thanks most of all to you for listening. Hope you enjoyed this game as much as we enjoyed bringing it home to you. But until next time, for Peter Frantz, this is Justin Abramson. That was fun, but now it's done. So long, everybody.
I heard a young father, a very prominent young man in the entertainment world, addressing a tremendous gathering in California. It was during the time of the Cold War, and communism and our own way of life were very much on people's minds, and he was speaking to that subject. And suddenly, though, I heard him saying, "I love my little girls more than anything," and I said to myself, "Oh no, you can't, don't say that." But I had underestimated him. He went on, "I would rather see my little girls die now, still believing in God, than have them grow up under communism and one day die no longer believing in God." And thereby remove yourself from the struggle between right and wrong.